Hello everyone. In our last class, we discussed about introduction to vasopressor and inotropes, the normal physiological mechanisms, and about the receptors and about the various drugs, introduction to drugs and what receptors they act. Now in this session, I'll be discussing about individual inotropes. Okay, so first let's discuss about epinephrine, which is also called as adrenaline. So it is an adrenergic agonist which acts against alpha 1, beta 1 and beta 2 receptors. Okay, it acts on alpha 1, beta 1 and beta 2 receptors. It is synthesized mainly in the chromaffin cells which are present in the adrenal medulla, okay, which is released in response to sympathetic activation or any sympathetic stress response. So now it is, as we all know, it is the drug of choice in anaphylactic shock and also in case of cardiac arrest. You all might have used it, right? So let's know in detail about the dosage and other various actions of the drug. So in case of anaphylactic shock, so how does it act? It acts on the alpha 1 receptors and it will cause vasoconstriction of the small arterioles. So increases the mean arterial pressure, right? And it will also reduce the mucosal edema because of the vasoconstriction. And via the beta receptors, what it does, as we all know, it causes bronchodilation, mainly beta 2 receptor. So, and it will also stabilize the mast cells which are present in the bronchi. Okay, so it will reduce the, when mast cells are stabilized, it will reduce the release of histamine and also other inflammatory mediators. So bronchospasm and excessive secretions, which is also a feature of anaphylactic shock, is contracted by the beta receptor action of the adrenaline. So it is called the drug of choice in case of anaphylactic shock. What is the dosage that we all use? It depends on the route, right? So if we are giving by IM or subcutaneous route, it will be 1 in 1000 dilution. The ampule itself comes in 1 in 1000 dilution. So directly you can break an ampule and give off IM or even subcutaneous. Okay, so when you are taking it IV, you should give it in 1 in 10,000 dilution. Okay, this is important thing you all must remember. So next, moving on to cardiac arrest. This is also one of the drug of choice, right? We give in large doses, right? 1 mg every 3 to 5 minutes. Each cycle of cardiac compression we give 1 ampule of adrenaline, right? So which is 1 mg. In cardiac arrest, it increases the mean arterial pressure, so it will increase the cerebral perfusion pressure. So when we use it, it will reduce the incidence of brain death. Okay, so when we are giving chest compressions, it will maintain the blood circulation to the brain, so by increasing cerebral perfusion pressure. Okay, so it is very important. And let's know about the other indications apart from anaphylactic shock and cardiac arrest. In case of asthma, acute severe asthma, because of beta 2 action as a bronchodilator, right? One more is severe hypotension. Okay, when it is present along with bradycardia, right? It will also increase the heart rate. So whenever there is a severe hypotension associated bradycardia, this is one of the option as a inotrope or a vasopressor. Okay, so along with local anesthetics, when used, it will increase the duration of action of the local anesthetic. One more is post cardiopulmonary bypass surgery to maintain cardiac output. Okay, one more is septic shock. It is an alternative to vasopressin. It is an alternative to noradrenaline. Noradrenaline is the first line drug in septic shock, and this adrenaline is an alternative, especially when there is hypotension and also bradycardia. Okay, so now let's come to the next aspect. It has a dose dependent action. Okay, so when you give in very low doses, beta effect will predominate, okay, at lower doses. So what happens? There is increase in inotropy and also increase in chronotropy, that is increase in heart rate, and also increase in dronotropy, that is increase in the AV conduction. So all these actions are seen at lower doses of adrenaline, and also bronchodilation, beta effect, right? So it will cause bronchodilation. Whereas at higher doses, what happens? Alpha effect predominates. Okay, so there will predominant peripheral vasoconstriction will be there. So increase in systemic vascular resistance will be there. So it has dose dependent action. At low doses it has bronchodilatory effect, chronotropy, bromotropy and inotropic effect, whereas at higher doses it increases the systemic vascular resistance. Now coming to the dose that is required for the infusion as a vasopressor. Okay, for infusion the minimum dose is 0.01 and maximum is 0.1 microgram per kg per minute. This is the dosage. You all should remember, whenever you want to start a patient on infusion with adrenaline, this is the dose. It is based on the weight of the patient, okay, and it is calculated per minute here. I'll tell you in detail about how to do calculations and dilutions, okay. So it is 0.01, you can go up to 0.1 mics per kg per minute. Okay, so 1 mg is 1 ampule, right? 1 ml. 1 ampule comes in 1 ml. 1 ml each contains 1 mg. So when you dilute, dilution, how you can do 3 ampules if you take in 47 ml NS. We all use syringe pumps which have 50 cc syringe, right? That is a standard one that we use in ICU setup. So I have calculated it for 50 cc syringe. You can take 3 ampules. This is just an example. Based on this you can take how many ever ampules you can and you can adjust it, okay. So 3 ampules when you take and add it to 47 ml of NS to make it 50 ml. So it will contain how much? It will be 3 ml so of adrenaline. So it will be 3 mg of adrenaline, right? So it becomes 3000 microgram because our this thing, what is the formula, the infusion rate we calculate for microgram. So you have to convert it to mics now from mg. So it becomes 3000 microgram. So each ml of this diluent that we take in a 50 cc syringe, in 50 ml, 1 ml of it contains 60 microgram of adrenaline, okay. So now we have to calculate the rate of infusion. We know the dose of infusion, we have to calculate the rate of infusion. This is for ml per hour. So how much ever microgram per kg per minute we want to start. The lowest dose is 0.01, right? So here we have to calculate for the lowest dose possible you start, right? So it is microgram per kg per minute, that is the dose you want to start. It will be 0.01 into weight of the patient, because in here micrograms and then weight of the patient in kg and concentration which is present in 1 ml, okay. And one more is you have to multiply by 60, because here we are calculating infusion for hour, whereas our dose was for per minute. So mics per kg per minute. If you want to start 0.01, now you will understand it. If we take the minimum dose as a infusion, this thing, see 0.001 is the one we want to start in a patient who is 50 kg weight into 60 divided by, as we calculated before, in 1 ml of the diluent that we have taken in 50 ml, 60 mics of adrenaline is there. So concentration per microgram per ml will be 60. So it comes up to be 0.5 ml per hour. So you have to start infusion at 0.5 ml per hour in a patient who is 50 kg when you want to start with the lowest dose, that is 0.01 mics per kg per minute, okay. So when you take for the maximum, it will be 0.1 into in a patient who is 50 kg, it becomes 5 ml per hour, okay. So if your patient is 50 kg, you can directly start off with 0.5 ml per hour and you should go up to you can go maximum up to 5 ml per hour, beyond which there is no effect of the drug, okay. Below this level also, below 0.5 ml per hour also no use, okay. When you take triple dilution, similarly you can calculate and keep for whatever dilutions you want to practice, and you can make a table for 60 kg person how much, 50 kg person how much, 70 kg person how much. We deal with medicine patients, right? So you can start from 50 kg, you can go up till 100 kg. So if you have a chart, what is the lowest dose you want to start and what is the highest dose you want to start, it will be, the chart will give you a clue. You need not calculate each and every time. You can take triple dilution and calculate, or you can take double dilution and calculate. This is just an example, okay. So I hope you all have understood. If any doubt in this, you can ask in the comment section, okay. So now let's move on to another drug, that is norepinephrine or noradrenaline, okay. It is an alpha 1 and also beta 1 receptor agonist. So alpha predominates over beta, so it is an intense vasoconstrictor. Okay, our epinephrine had action on alpha 1, beta 1 and beta 2, right? Here it has action on alpha 1 and beta 1. However, alpha 1 action predominates, so it is an intense vasoconstrictor. Okay, so it will increase the systemic vascular resistance, increases both the systolic blood pressure as well as the diastolic blood pressure. What about the cardiac output? It does not have any effect. Okay, it does not have increase, but it does not increase, but it can reduce because of the increased resistance to the ventricular contraction. Okay, so what happens is, whenever there is intense peripheral vasoconstriction, heart has to pump against increased resistance, right? So it can come down. Theoretically it can reduce the cardiac output. So what about heart rate? It is unchanged, or it can be even decreased because of the compensatory baroreceptor reflex, mediated reflex, okay, via the vagal activity because of the vasoconstriction, right? So one more is blood flow is reduced in renal and also mesenteric vasculature, okay, and also splanchnic vasculature, hepatic vasculature, and all these beds there will be decreased blood flow. So now let's know about the indications for norepinephrine. It is the drug of choice in case of septic shock. So borderline, as I told in my previous when mean arterial pressure is less than 65 millimeters of mercury despite adequate volume resuscitation. Okay, so this is very important. Hypertension, volume resuscitation, hypertension following cardiopulmonary bypass surgery. This is another indication, two indications. Okay, it is drug of choice in septic shock when BP is not maintained despite adequate volume resuscitation, and also in case of hypotension following cardiopulmonary bypass. So now let's know about the side effects of the drug. It will cause severe hypertension. As I said, it is an intense vasoconstrictor, so it causes severe hypertension. Okay, one more is there is increase in myocardial workload, so it can lead to cardiac ischemia. As I said, it has heart has to contract against increased peripheral resistance, so there is increased myocardial workload. One more is systemic vasoconstriction. So what happens? It will cause impaired perfusion of the gut and other organs. Okay, it can lead to organ dysfunction, and it will lead to metabolic acidosis. So next, coming to the dose that is required for the infusion. Okay, when you want to start it as an vasopressor, you have to start with 0.1 to 1 microgram per kg per minute. In every drug you have to remember few things, that is, what is the infusion dose. For adrenaline it was 0.01 to 0.1. Here it starts from 0.1 up to 1 microgram per kg per minute. Okay, so each ampule is 2 ml, right? It contains 4 mg, so each ml is 2 mg here. So when you take double dilution, that is 4 ml with 46 ml of NS, that becomes 50 ml, right? It will have how much? 8 mg, so it comes up to be 8000 micrograms. Okay, so 1 ml of it contains 160 micrograms. Okay, so when you want to do rate, minimum is 0.1, right? So minimum per ml per hour infusion is 0.1 in a 50 kg person into 60 divided by per ml it was 160, it comes up to be 1.8 ml per hour. Okay, so when we take maximum, that is 1 into 50 by 160, 60 divided by 116 mics, so it becomes 18. So you can start the infusion at 1.8 ml per hour when you take standard double dilution, and you can increase up to 1.8 ml per hour. Okay, beyond which above 18 ml in a double dilution has no effect. When you start at 0.5 ml or 1 ml, it has no effect. Okay, the minimum dose will be 1.8. So it is individual weight based, you have and based on the dilution that we take. This is the simple example of the calculation that you want to do. Just remember the dose. Okay, how much is the rate of infusion, minimum how much you want to start, maximum how much you can go, and based on individual patient weight and how you want to dilute, you can calculate the dose and keep the infusion. Okay, thank you.